Welcome to the tutorial for Hillel's Entertainment Guidebook. As you can see on the interfaces, we have many different steps in order to get the desired results that we need. The first step that we are going to use is getting organized. So we're going to click right here, number 1, choose this week's menu, to choose the menu. The first thing that we need to do is we need to type in how many people signed in for the Shabbat last week. So let's say we had 75 people sign in last week. Now we're going to look at what we're going to need and how many people are going to come for this week's Shabbat. So this week's Shabbat is on April 26th. The Shabbat title is D-Tools Shabbat. And there were 46 yeses, 12 maybes, and 141 no responses. There's a speaker coming this week, and there's also a partnering organization coming this week. No holiday. These three are variables that we found affected the demand for each Shabbat, and these were the three that were the significant variables that actually affect the number of people who will attend. So now we're going to click Figure It Out, and this generates the number of the estimated attendance, which is based off of a demand function that we have created. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to choose the menu for this week's Shabbat. So what we're going to do is you have the option to click all these different courses, but what we're going to do this week is we're actually going to enter a new recipe. So this week we're going to make Bendoli's brownies. And it is obviously a dessert course, which is at the very bottom here, and it serves 40 people. Let's say these are the ingredients we need. We need asparagus for the brownies, obviously. 12. So we're going to add this ingredient to the recipe. We also are going to need black beans for the brownies for the nice color. So we're going to need 40 of those. We also are going to need a new ingredient. We're actually going to need brownie mix. This is the input that it's going to actually put into our ingredient list, and then we need the location of the brownie mix at Kroger, and we know that it's in aisle 10 at Kroger. The standard cooking unit for the brownie mix is a cup. The standard shopping unit is a 16-ounce box, and the price per shopping unit, it's $6.99 per box, and the conversion factor is 3. So we're going to submit the ingredient. Now we're going to return to the new recipe. Now this button is just going to take us back to the selection we already had. So now we have, if we look, we now need to put in the brownie mix. And now we see that in the drop down. And we're going to need 7 cups. So now we're going to add this ingredient. So now we have the recipe for Bendoli's brownies. So now we're just going to add this recipe. Return to the recipe choices. Go back to choose menu, and now we can click what we need. We need challah, we need grape juice and soda. Let's get this soup. Let's get 2 salads. Let's get the herb roasted chicken, the peanut butter noodles. We'll get 2 veggie options. Let's get the kugel and the sweet potatoes, the apple crisp, and there we have Bendoli's brownies. So now we're ready for the computer and Excel to generate the menu. So now that the menu is generated, you can actually see that in the different outputs. But we're actually just going to, what we want to do now is we want to make this more intuitive for the user. So based on this menu, we have a shopping list, a cooking list, and a map and recipe instructions based on what the ingredients we need are. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an add-in called Google Writer. If you click this, it brings it up, which just sends all of the data we have to Google so that you can access it from your cell phone, so that when you're walking around in the store you can actually see what you need. There's simple instructions right here for how to get everything onto the Google document. That's for our first spreadsheet, and then we'll wait for that to upload. Okay, so now that we have the first document sent, we're just going to send in the second one, A2, post data to file. You can see the inputs all come in here automatically. So now we're going to click it one last time and type in A3. So now that we've put all the inputs in, we're now going to click on each 3, 4, 5, and 6 to pull up what we just sent to Google Docs. So first we're going to click 3, So here is our shopping list, and you can see here, I'm just going to maximize the screen. It's a little bit slow. So right here is our shopping list. So this is for the person who's actually going to Kroger and shopping. And what this generates is it gives you all of the ingredients that are necessary for all of the recipes, the location, so which aisle each of these ingredients are in, the shopping unit, which is, fresh ginger comes in a bag of a pound, and how much that unit costs. And this is the quantity we need to buy, and this is the shopping unit. However, let's say, for example, right now we need 23 pounds or 23 bags of asparagus for the recipes we have. But let's say we already have 20 pounds. Enter that in, and you can see the number changes to 3. Another thing to note is we have the total event cost, which just calculates the quantity we need to buy times the price, which will show how much we actually are spending for this particular spot. So that was the shopping list. Now we're going to click on the map of Kroger, which is another tool that the shopper will use. Maximize the screen again. So this tool is another tool that the shopper will use, and this gives you the basic layout of the Kroger grocery store. You can see the enter and exit zones, the checkout lines, and then all of these colored items are the aisles where the food is actually kept. If you look over here on the left, you can see a list of all of the aisles and the frequency with which the ingredients are found in that aisle. If there are a lot of items in an aisle, it gets more of a green color, and if there are fewer items, it gets more of a red color. Now we're going to look at the recipe list, which is used by the chef. Now this list, you can see right here, we have our Detool Shabbat, true for the speaker and the partner, and false for the holiday, how many people are expected to attend. And this gives each recipe, and next to each recipe gives the ingredients needed, the amount needed, and the measurement. So that's very easy and intuitive for the chef to use. Finally, we have the recipe directions, which is just a Google Doc with the updated. Here is the direction list for the recipes. Now we have our fourth step and our final step, which basically shows, based on the amount of people coming to the event that we generated from our demand, what we need. So for the room, we need 74 chairs because there's 74 people, 10 tables, and the paper goods that we need. So for these, they're all 74: kiddush cups, plates, napkins, spoons, forks, knives, and cups. This graph right here to the right is just for the user so they can understand what the demand is like over time, to show, based on the week, how many people are coming. Thank you for listening to our tutorial, and we hope that it'll help you plan your next event.